Lady Lily, back with another video, and this is the Housewives of Potomac, the reunion special part 2. So we pick up where we left off from last week. Karen collects herself after her meltdown, and she returns to the cast. Karen is saying it was just difficult that she buried her father and her mother so close together. And she said she just felt like she was alone. And she didn't want people to feel sorry for her. The girls are saying, pretty much are saying sorry. And Karen said she knows, they have their deepest sympathy, condolences, and she said that it is heartfelt. The focus then moves on to Giselle, which brought up Sherman. Giselle believes that once the People's Magazine article hit, that Sherman pretty much shut down, and Monique, and she believed that she thought Monique was in on Kendall, getting Kendall on the show. At this point, Charisse has joined the cast. She is rocking a new do, and she told Andy that she also has her current home on the market. So there's a lot of things on the market besides just her, being available, being a single woman. Charisse said that she did suggest for Kendall to come on the show, and apparently Giselle said that Kendall begged to be on season 1, but her storyline was boring. And she said she begged to be on season 2, but her storyline was boring. However, once they discovered that Giselle was dating Kendall's ex, now it was all of a sudden, let's bring Kendall on the show. And because she's creating a storyline now. Giselle's no. Monique states that she was not an advocate for Kendall to be on a show, that was more so of Charisse. And Charisse was saying, yes, she was an advocate for Kendall to get on the show because she felt like she, could fit in and be a castmate. Andy asked what happened to Sherman. Giselle said, I think I just said that. I just said about, how he shut down. She said, Giselle said that once they had broken up, that Sherman did tell her that he was, looking at rings. Giselle states that Sherman wants to get back together, and she said they are talking. And they are taking things one day at a time. And they are also considering pursuing counseling. Monique said if she didn't regret anything this season, she did regret bringing up Sherman the multiple times of the season. And she apologized to Giselle. And Giselle said, you couldn't have been that sorry because you kept bringing it up and bringing it up and bringing it up. Monique states that her and Charisse are not as good. It's not at a good place in their friendship. They're not that close anymore. And she said she really felt like, they had a lot in common, both being connected to men that were in the athletic world, and they was good support systems for one another. But hey, maybe they can possibly work on it. I kind of think Charisse did do Candace, quite dirty. I believe that she, did try to bring her into the realm and, try to make some connections for her, but then she turns around and throw her under the bus. That's what I thought was not cool at all. So during the next segment, they bring the men out. All the men except for one, and Sherman, of course. Chris is happy to be here. This is his first reunion. This is Candace Chris. Monique Chris has lost 35 pounds. And congrats to Ray on getting his tax situation figured out. And Mike was there, and he was like, well, Mike, you was not well liked this season. So Chris confirmed that his meat piece is not white, so it is brown. Chris has also, the question came up about Chris getting a hold of his son. Chris said he continues to send cards and letters, and he said he is giving him every possible way he could for his son to reach out to him. He has not yet had a response, and I believe at that point when it was taping, they, days away from the wedding. But he said he is still hopeful, and he's hoping that the show will show his sincerity and that he really wants to build a relationship with his son. The other Chris, Monique's Chris, said he was very disappointed in the backlash that Monique got about the whole drinking situation. He said, how cruel was it of people to blame, to say she miscarried because she, was drinking. And, Monique wasn't really drinking at the time she was pregnant. Come on. He said he thought that the women, were, Monique's friends, and she had, that they was better than that, and they was genuine. He said he actually liked the girls, and he said Sharice was his favorite of them all. Ray was hoping that the tax situation, he was saying he wished he could have did things a little differently, but he was hoping that the tax situation would not have affect Karen as it did. Ray describes the tax issue as a mistake that was never fully addressed. It's something that if it probably would have been taken care of in the past and not fester, that it wouldn't have been a problem to date. Ray said he is paying the bill, and it's none of your business on how much money he owed and how much money he is paying. Good for you, Ray. Ray did go on to say, they talk about the pizza incident, and Ray said that the leaving a pizza box on the step kind of got the landscaping people in trouble, and their boss ended up chewing them out because the boss thought that was their pizza, and they was being, eating on a job and neglecting. And he said that the pizza also drew a couple of critters to their doorway by leaving it there. Robin did say she mentioned that she did see Karen's purse on the counter, and they believe she lived there. What Giselle says, she believes that she lives in another part of the house. So yeah, moving right along. Karen said pretty much the visit with the pizza was just not meant for good. And, everything they have done this season is try to make her put her down and make her look bad. The girls say it was just all fun and jokes. Karen and Ray have confirmed that they live in their house. Michael is pretty much saying that, it was a bad business deal. Ray said, Michael, don't act like you ain't made bad business decisions, because you have, and we know, but it's not our place to talk about it. Michael wanted Karen to apologize about the picture situation, because remember, there was a situation about Mike supposed to have been exposing himself on Grindr and all this stuff, and he was cheating on Ashley with other men. So, Karen was saying she, is not apologizing because she believes it's him. Ashley said that Karen gave her a cease and desist letter about some situational things she known, and Blue Eyes came up in the conversation. Ray said he has Blue Eyes' number in his phone, and he has had it for years. He said at one point he thought Blue Eyes and Karen had something going on, but he looked into it and it was pretty much nothing. I guess I'm assuming that he had hired a private detective or private eye and got things checked out. Sharice goes on to say that her divorce should be final at some point in August, and they send her off. After that, they take a break, they come back. Ashley said that her and Michael at this point are in a better place, and they are working on their family. Ashley did reveal that she did conceive around her 30th birthday, but unfortunately she had experienced a miscarriage shortly after. She is worried because this is not the first time she had a miscarriage. Apparently, she had a miscarriage when she was in her early 20s, so she is feeling like there may be something wrong with her body. Michael teared up during this time when Ashley was talking about the miscarriage, and he said just made him realize that they belong together, and he you know, wants to have a family with her. Ashley says she is seeing a Chinese doctor, and they discovered that she has a cold uterus. So she's saying, it's important for her to keep her feet, her hands, and her stomach warm because her uterus is cold. And she's going to work on getting things, taken care of so she can try to conceive a child. Michael is on board as well as to having this child. Monique was very touched by Ashley's story. I mean, she bust out in tears. She said she doesn't wish that on anybody, being that she had recently went through a miscarriage. And even Chris was saying, everything worked out with the first two. It was such a smooth transition. They had their boy, then they turned around and had their girl. And he said he felt like the third time, they was entering into it. They just knew it was going to happen because they never had problems with they didn't have any problems or complications with the other two. But he just felt like, you take it for granted. So they're with this child now, they're just, taking it for what it's worth. Ashley's mother comes up in the conversation, and apparently the guy that Ashley's mother was dating, she's still with him. However, he has since did a whole 180. He got a job, full employment. He's doing better. And they said, they are coming around more together as a family, and they hadn't done that in years. He said he did not, Ashley mom's boyfriend did not like how, the light that the show placed him in. So it just made him want to do things differently. And the show also helped mom to turn things around and see herself in a different light, and just made her want to step her game up. Karen told Ashley to hold on to your mom and hold on to your family. Ashley said that Karen's moment that she had made her go and call her mom and tell her that she loved her. Karen is saying she is rooting for Ashley and her mother. She's rooting for everybody who got a relationship with their mom to hold on to that, hold on to the family. Family is everything. Ashley did do a video for the song that she ended up writing that was dedicated to Michael, and they showed a clip of that. And Monique said they send the man off. They're done. So they're in the final segment of this show. And Andy asked the girls to talk about what they learned. Monique says she learned to mind her business. Candace says she appreciates the sisterhood and friendship. Ashley says she learns to be open and forgive and wants to move on and be in a good place with Karen. Robin said we need to communicate better. Giselle said hard work pays off, and she is going to keep whoever she dates a secret because they ex might end up on the show. And Karen said life is short. Keep your family close. And ladies end up toasting, and that is a wrap. So that is a wrap towards season 2. I'm sure the Housewives of Potomac will be getting green light for season 3 because, as they're saying, the ratings and the status of the Potomac is surpassing Atlanta. So I have no doubt they will not. I have no doubt they will get green light for season not season 3. This is season 3. Season 4. So they will be, I believe they'll be back around, and we'll get to see Monique's baby. We'll get to see any updates with Ashley and see where Sharice is at, and will she come back on as a cast member once her divorce is final. Because I really think she stepped off because she was in the midst of her divorce, and it probably was advised by her attorneys to do so. So that is it. That is all. That is it. We'll see next time when it premieres. That's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. Peace out.